All right, guys, welcome to Kitchen Daddy. This week we're making roast chicken stock, which is pretty much one of the most basic cooking techniques that you need to know for proper cooking. We're going to roast off some chicken carcasses before cooking them nice and slow with some stock vegetables and aromatics. Guys, a lot of people think that stocks are very complicated. They're not. They're really easy to do. So come on, let's get into it. Right, to kick things off, let's grab a large roasting pan. Now I've got about 2 chicken carcasses here, which I've just broken up into smaller pieces. Let's add a splash of oil, and I want to mix that all together. Now we're going to get that into the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius. We're going to bake that for about 20 minutes. Give it a scrape at about 10 minutes to make sure nothing's burning to the bottom of the pan. But we want to make sure that all that carcass gets lovely golden and brown. Okay, whilst they're roasting, let's get our stock pot onto a nice gentle heat, and we're going to prep the veg. Now I need 4 carrots, which we're going to peel and roughly chop. I need 2 sticks of celery, 1 leek, and 1 large onion. Now let's add a splash of oil. Let's get the vegetables in. I want to cook those nice and gently for about 10 minutes. The big watch out here is don't let them burn. Otherwise, we're going to start developing like a bitter burnt flavor into the stock. So just keep them gently and keep moving them around every few minutes or so. Now for the aromatics, I've got 2 bay leaves, a small bunch of thyme, parsley stalks, and I've got 1 bulb of garlic, which we're just going to cut in half. Last of all, we need about 10 peppercorns. Now let's get them all into the pan. We're going to move those around and keep cooking them for about another 10 minutes. Right, those chicken bones look absolutely amazing. They're beautiful, golden and brown. So let's get those into the stock pot. One thing we do want to do, we just want to deglaze that pan with a bit of water. That way we're going to lift off any of those lovely roasted bits of chicken that stuck to the bottom of the pan, and that's more flavor to go into our stock. Now let's pour in enough water to completely cover everything. Let's bring that up to the boil. We're going to knock that down to just below simmering point, and we're going to cook that for about 3 hours. Right, some top tips for making chicken stock. A lot of people think that you have to cook stock for a really long period of time, maybe 8 hours. That's not the case. 3 hours for roasted chicken stock is plenty. What happens, the longer you cook it, the more pronounced the kind of stewed vegetable flavor becomes. Now, if you do want to have something that's got a really lovely roasted chicken flavor to it, then roast off more bones. So the more bones you get in, the stronger the chicken flavor is going to be. Now guys, if you don't have a chicken carcass, but you really do want to make some chicken stock for a special occasion, or you just really want to give it a try, go and find some chicken wings. That's what we used to use in the restaurant I used to work in. We used to roast off the chicken wings and use that for the base of our stock. Okay, if that's had 3 hours, it's looking and smelling absolutely beautiful. So using a ladle, let's just skim off any impurities which have floated to the top. And then we want to pass that through a fine sieve. Now let's get that chilled down as quickly as possible. You could either get that into a sink, surround it with ice and water. That will help drop that temperature nice and quickly. Or you can get that into your fridge, but remember, it's going to crank the temperature up in your fridge by putting all that hot liquid in there. Up to you. Once that's cooled down, the stock should have a yellowy film of fat over the top of it, and it should have a gelatinous quality. To be honest, guys, I've probably put in a little bit too much water and not enough chicken bone, so I'd expect it to be a little bit more gelatinous than this, but that is just going to taste absolutely incredible. Now the stock should last for about 3 days in the fridge or 3 to 4 weeks in the freezer. Just bring that back up to the boil before using. That way you know you've killed off any bacteria that's developed in the stock. Now guys, I've got a couple of options for you here for next week. We're going to do some cooking with this chicken stock. Option 1, we could do a butternut squash risotto, roasted butternut squash risotto. We'll make it lovely and sexy. Or we could do a steak with a proper red wine sauce. Get in the comments, let me know what you think, tell me which one you want, risotto or steak with red wine sauce. I've got a good idea of what I think you're going to go for. Get in the comments, let me know. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this really helpful. I'd love to do more kind of techniques with you. I was trying to plan to do like techniques on a Thursday, but I just don't have time to do that. But I thought, let's get this one done because it's such an important technique. I hope you really like it. Give us a thumbs up, and I will see you next week. Who knows what we're going to make? We've got two options. You decide. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.